So today we will be continuing our look at the Guilty Gears featuring one of my favorite characters, Dizzy. I forgot that if you tab out, it actually pauses the game, so this is going to be very interesting. In general though, this is close to one of my favorite Guilty Gears. I started with Accent Core, which is a version after this, so that's the one I have the most nostalgia for. But X2 is actually pretty good in its own right, I'd say. It definitely does feel a little bit rough around the edges, and Accent Core is kind of like a more refined version of this. It's back in the day when, instead of just patching things a bunch of times, they had to make separate versions of games. So there's actually 3 versions of this. This is the second one, X2 Reload. The first version was the Midnight Carnival, and the third version was Slash, but I don't think that was released outside of Japan, so this is the most up-to-date version available overseas. We have a lot of modes to choose from. There's a medal mode, there's obviously training survival. We also have a mission mode, which is kind of cool. You basically have various preset challenges to go through, and you can unlock various, like, additional features. I think you can unlock, like, gallery pieces along with, like, additional modes for characters by doing that, but to be honest, I don't quite remember the details. But we will be focusing on story mode for this, and if we do dabble in any of the other modes, we'll just jump into those and Accent Core instead, just because that's a more up-to-date version of the game. So I figured we'll just go through the story mode of this one, and if we do dedicate more time, we'll go with the more complete version. So, for this, we will once again be playing as Dizzy. Like in Guilty Gear X, there are 3 endings to get, so we will be trying, in both cases, to go in opposite order, just because Path 3 is the most obtuse in this game, so if I botch it, we can easily just divert course to the other 2 paths, but if not, then it's fine. So I do want to aim for Path 3 first, just for the sake of in case something goes wrong. So yeah, this is a very interesting game. Again, the story mode is very fascinating, just because the sort of canon status of it does feel a little bit debated. A lot of things don't feel like they necessarily can't be canon, but nothing is really like carried over from this particular story mode, I would say, at least from what I remember. This one in particular does feel a little bit more like superfluous in a way, and more focused on, like, character rather than actually moving the plot forward. Though to be fair, even in most of the Guilty Gears, it does feel like the more canon story does play out more in Soul's story, which does make sense, he is the main character after all, but the other stories are just kind of to add some flavor to everything. Just add a little bit of flair by having, some more, like, character stories to add personality.
力に振り回されるのはやめにしました。かわいい船ね。壊すのがもったいないくらいだわ。この船は海賊船です。勝手に乗船しないでください。あなた、邪魔よ。
ってこいつはどっから落ちてきたんだ。おい、どうした？大丈夫か？ホリッツェン！なんて旗迷惑な野郎だ。
So basically the plot in this game is, it picks up from Guilty Gear X, where Dizzy ends up joining the Jellyfish Pirates along with, obviously, characters like May and Johnny, and in this one in particular, she basically gets thrown overboard by Eno and is trying to make her way back to the crew, basically. So again, kind of more side story-ish, less like pivotal to the overarching narrative. You're not gonna get a whole lot with like, in this particular story to like move things forward. It's more just to give more moments with this character.
ほう、手負いのギアか。願ってもないことだ。我が技を試すには絶好の好機。手元が狂っても恨むなよ。
It's kind of interesting that Dizzy doesn't really say a whole lot at this point in the story. It's mostly just Necro. Again, Dizzy's wings are both essentially sentient Necro and Undying. Yeah, Dizzy herself being a half-gear daughter of Justice, and her father at this point in the series is kind of like left a mystery, though it's funny in my research for these games how much people were actually already speculating back in the day about something that essentially ended up being confirmed in Xrd, if I'm not mistaken.
妙に手だれの怪我人が多いと思ったら、元はまあとかく人の世は住みがたいものです。何があったかは聞きませんが。
殺す。
やけになるのはいただけませんよ。
Accidentally skipped a little bit of Faust's dialogue, but that's fine. Again, it is actually nice that the story is voiced this time, rather than being in Japanese only in text. Hi Silver, thank you for the Prime sub. Actually, the very first sub on the channel, because again, I did reach affiliate thanks to all my friends rallying around me. I don't even know if the alert played, because I have like a lot of things going on right now. We actually have a special condition for this fight, I almost forgot, which would have been really bad, but we basically have to win with an overdrive, and we have to avoid losing health too much. And we actually did it first try, so that was really nice. We should get different dialogue for this then.
あれ、お医者様、どうしました？もしかして、また私が？よかった、息はある。困ったな。ここはどこだろう。この辺で怒りを持った女の子を見ませんでしたか？
それはまた個性的な友人だな。
ええ、とっても明るくて楽しい人なんですよ。
うん。会うことがあれば君が探していたと伝えておこう。お嬢さん、名前は何だね？
秘密です。
失敬。君の噂は聞いているよ、ディズィ君。私の名はスレイヤー。お見知りおきを。
スレイヤーさん、私のことを誰にも言わないでくださいますか？
そうさな。君が勝ったら考えよ
う。わかりました。でも、危なくなったらすぐ言ってくださいね。
To answer the question in chat, I actually only got the ability to give people VIP yesterday because of the affiliate goal also being the same at 50 followers. So basically I went through and added like VIP to like a bunch of my friends basically. So yeah, it is nice because that was one thing I was really missing actually, was the ability to add people as VIPs, because again, I I am very grateful to all my friends who rallied around me. And yeah, I do have that as an emote, the head pat. That's the only emote I have because it's technically not something I have to like draw out basically. I don't even know if I can access the emote. I've not really had much success with that. I'm also trying to play this game at the same time as talking, so this is interesting. The rest of the route doesn't play out very differently except for the final fight. After Faust, he's the first branch.
参った。
あなたも人間ではないんですね。
加えて言えば人の産物でもない。まあ例外というやつだ。
私、ずっと自分だけが例外だと思ってました。今は違うんですけどね。
我らのようなものは少ないが、探せば案外いるはずだ。
いつか探してみます。
それもいいだろう。では、さらばだ。
それにしても、みんなどこにいるんだろう。
いつかのギアじゃねえか。
その説はどうも。
気に入らねえな。なんでてめえまでいるん？あの赤い学士とつるんでんじゃねえのか？
赤い学士ってギターを持った人ですか？
やっぱりか。覚悟しやがれ。
Again, like I said, I just went through and just added as many people as like VIPs who are my friends as possible. I think I had like 20 VIP slots, which was more than I was expecting, to be honest. Especially starting out. I thought you got more later on, but I'm actually not sure on that. Tried to add as many people as I could think of who have been around streams quite a bit. I also really don't have that many mods, but I don't think it'll be a problem at this level of starting out. Hi Rio, thank you for the follow.
ああ、驚いた。いきなり襲わなくてもいいのに。それにしても、ここはどこなんだろう。見つけましたよ、賞金首さん。どなたですか？うちですか？通りすがりの賞金稼ぎです。賞金首って、ひょっとして私ですか？やだな、決まってるじゃないですか。さあ、行きますよ。お仕事ご苦労様。でも、世間の厳しさを教えてあげます。
If you notice a brief pause, I ended up tapping out for a moment to double check something. But yeah, this is the final fight of ending 3. This is actually a different fight than normal. That's the only real major change. The plot at this point is, again, Dizzy had like a $500,000 bounty on her for being a half gear in a time when gears were heavily feared because of justice. So Bridget is trying to prove something. I don't know how to talk about this, to be honest. Bridget's in her egg phase, I'll just say that much. And maybe that would be the nicest way to put it and leave it at that. We're trying to prove how tough she is by being a bounty hunter and tries to take out, this half gear and then doesn't know that Jam already claimed the bounty, basically. So that's basically the plot of this.
なんだ、賞金首さんじゃなかったんですね。そうですよ。人違いです。それに、どこで聞いたか知りませんが、もうその情報は古いです。その賞金首さんは、もうお亡くなりになりました。 んですか？仕事するときは、そういうとこ、しっかりしないとダメですよ。今日みたいに間違って襲ったら、大変でしょ？はーい。以後気をつけます。分かってくれればいいんです。ご迷惑をおかけしました。じゃあ一つ、お願い聞いてもらえますか？いいですとも。何ですか？私、迷子なんです。ここ、どこですか？
So yeah, very much a just cute side ending. She's so lost, she still needs to get back to the Jellyfish Pirates, so again, not the most conclusive ending, but I just personally like this one as an excuse to have, like, two of my favorite Guilty Gear characters on the screen at the same time. And unfortunately, in Double X Accent Core, it's not quite as respectful, and I'll leave it at that. Well, it's complicated. Again, Bridget's whole storyline is a lot and difficult to, like, go into. At least I find it kind of like, how do I talk about this? But obviously we're not done. We still have 2 more endings to get for Dizzy and this one before we can even move on to Accent Core. So this time we actually don't need to worry about avoiding damage. Again, the previous time we had to avoid taking 25% or a life bar, but we also had to end with an overdrive. So, or tension attack is how the guide I found says it, which I don't know if there are any other tension attacks in this game. But just be really on the safe side, I'm deliberately taking extra damage, so we will definitely not have to worry about accidentally going into the other path. So we should be on path 1 and 2 now, which the branch off point is at the very end, unfortunately.
治療終了。
あれ？私、そうだ。メイシップの甲板から突き落とされて。
なるほど、そのショックでしたか。
あ、お医者様、助けていただいたんですか？
幸い大きな怪我はないようですね。予後は良好でしょ
ええ、みんなはどこへ行ったんだろう。
そういえば、先ほどメイさんに会いましたよ。
ありがとうございます。そっちへ行ってみます。この辺で。
And at this point, the story should play out the same, so we're going to be skipping cutscenes until after Baiken, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, basically either Faust directly helps her, or she sort of regains cogency after knocking him out entirely in Bridget's ending. But either way, she's sort of back to her old self, without, like, Necro basically taking the reins after Ino's attack. So yeah, I just find Dizzy a really fascinating character. Again, I never actually played her in Accent Core until recently, just because I didn't like her outfit. Truth be told, I still don't think I like her outfit. It's a little much, I'll say that much. Plus also just, like, in general, I feel like the character is a bit over-sexualized just in, like, you know, the ending artwork and stuff. Throughout many of these games.
この辺のはずだけど。
Okay, so yeah, it is same, so we'll be skipping ahead, just for the sake of time. Again, I think only Faust's dialogue is a little bit different, and then, the ending fight after this should be not with Brisket, unfortunately. In general, though, I really do think she's a fun character, because she's kind of, like, I like characters that are both rushdown, but with elements of Zoner. Like, I like characters that can do both, not like a pure rushdown. Wow, that was a really easy fight, actually, though I am still playing on, like, beginner, just for the sake of time to get through this without too much difficulty.
いた。いきなり襲わなくてもいいのに。
では挨拶しよう。空前にして絶後なるギアの姫よ。
誰？
我は影。心に潜み体を奪う禁獣。その体を渡すがいい。
なんだろう、この気持ち。遠い昔の憎しみと記憶。
覚えていたか。我らが戦うのは戦術的必然なのだ。
でも戦争は終わってます。こんな気持ちは偽物です。
人工の運命だ。覆せるものなら覆してみろ。
Alright, so in this game, Zada 1 has been basically taken over by Eddie, his familiar. My brain had to go to the phrase May ship because the fan part of my brain kept going Maybury ship. Yeah, basically at this point. That is one of my favorite Guilty Gear ships. Though I don't feel like there are many. I feel like that's the main one. Alright, so I feel like he still plays the same, so at least this fight's not difficult. Though I do find Zada 1 and Eddie in general to be kind of an annoying character to fight just because of how, like, mobile and ranged his attacks are.
また会えたわね。どうしてあんなひどいことをするんですか？
それその顔ゾクゾクしちゃう。そんな顔してくれるなら何度でもいじめちゃうわ。
失礼します。
逃げられると思ってるとこがまた可愛いわ。
So we've made it to branch 2. This one sucks. We have to win this fight. And if that seems like a problem, I don't like this boss fight. And this is the boss version of Ino specifically, not the fighter version. Therefore, we actually have to work for this. I think she also regains health, too. And I think she also has, like, her really stupidly annoying and overpowered super, too. And she's also just zipping around. So we actually do have to win this, so, this might be a problem. I'll do my best to win this fight. This might take another attempt though, and if we don't get it like soon enough, I might just bail and just like call it, just for the sake of time. Yeah, this is a boss level Eno, and yeah, regen is definitely like not helping. I'm actually doing like amazingly well, given that I'm also trying to like talk over this. But again, I think she can do her like special super for the boss version. But again, I'm playing on beginner, just partly so I can show this off entirely. And yeah, we're just kind of like chipping around at this point and hoping that it's like more than than the health she can regen. But yeah, this is actually going okay unless I botch it at the end, which I'm kind of doing right now. Also, I don't know how Dizzy's IK works. It's like the stupidest input in the series. Wow, we actually got it really fast.
お願いです。引いてください。
クソが何を偉そうに。その羽虫って骨にしてやる。
もうこれ以上は手加減できません。
知るか。
So this fight's really interesting because the story can just end on the previous fight, and we'll probably go through it a third time to show that off, but we have this little cool animation for starters. But Dizzy's also powered up to like essentially a boss character. So hopefully, yeah, this is kind of like comparable to the Faust fight in X, where like Dizzy's super fast and powerful. So this one's actually easier, and also we don't have to worry about a fail condition, hopefully. So this one shouldn't be bad. Watch this be the one I lose to, just because I've just hyped up the other one as being really hard, and this is like the easy part. This is like the victory lap. It's kind of like the oddest comparison I thought of was like DMC 5, where it's like, you know, you have two fights with the final boss essentially, and the first one's the actual hard one, and the other's just the kind of like styling on them for fun. But you're also powered up to the point where it's like you're also kind of the boss character. My heart is still racing because I didn't think we'd get through that first try. But yeah, that's ending 2 cleared out.
あれ、私どうしたのかな。なんだろう、この気持ち。力を使った後なのに、とても温かい。ああ、いたいた。やっぱりここだった。ヘイプリル。あれ、ディズィ、どうしたの？どうしたのかな。涙が止まらないんです。悲しいことでもあったの？いえ、夢を見たんです。何かとっても懐かしい夢でした。きっとそれお母さんの夢じゃないかな。あ、お父さんかもしれないね。ギアに生みの親っているんでしょうか。あ、うん、大丈夫。きっといるよ。そうね。今度みんなで探しに行くのはどう？ありがとう。なんか元気が出てきました。本当に会えるといいな。おーい。あ、来た来た。みんなこっち。さあ、帰ろう。はい。
Alright, so that's ending 2. Again, they're not really subtle about who her parents, who her father is, even though it's not really confirmed until much later in the series, which is a whole other story of why it took so long to actually get back to the main story. A lot of licensing problems, but a little bit off topic. The other thing worth mentioning is X2 is weird. Endings are tied to each other. So like beating this ending actually unlocks an ending for Soul, which makes sense. But also Bridget's... The ending with Bridget, also you have to do a story mode with Bridget first. It's really weird, like how you have to... The clear conditions for certain endings are just other endings of story modes, along with other weird, like, requirements. So it's really hard to actually 100% this game. Truth be told, this is the Steam version, so I just downloaded the file, in all fairness, so... Because I didn't really want to have to go through all this. And again, I am playing on beginner, so that's part of the reason why Ino put up less of a fight than usual. Alright, so we've made it back to Ino. This time, all we have to do is lose, so that'll be easy, comparatively. This is a very easy fight to lose, so we shouldn't have any trouble with that. Again, because of playing on beginner, we didn't see, like, her main attack, unfortunately, which is basically like a screen fill. I guess Faultless Defense is the best option, but even then, it's like, the chip damage is absurd, which again is part of the reason why I do want to do an arcade run, just to show off how BS, can actually get, because again, on beginner, for story mode, she definitely isn't as OP, but in Accent Core Plus's arcade mode, she definitely has no chill, even on beginner, at least from my recollection. It's been a bit since I played arcade mode, because it's so really difficult, and I actually seriously wonder how kid me, teenage me actually, even got through that at all.
せめてよ。まだ燃え切らないの。ざまあないね。ギアだろうがなんだろうが、あのお方の邪魔になるやつは生かしちゃおかないよ。
いいの。
はい。
私はお前にこんなことを望まなかった。少し眠っていろ。処遇は後で考える。ほう、あいつの面影があるな。
誰？
ディージー、光と闇の結晶よ。お前は我が思惑さえ超えた世界の希望。その身が恐怖と悲しみを呼ぼうとも、決してくじけてはならない。
おーい、ディー
行け、我が祝福とともに。
ほら、いた。ディーズー、無事だったんだ。みんな心配してたんだよ。皆さん、来てくれたんですね。今、ここに誰かいませんでした？え？誰もいなかったよ。そうですか。
いいよ、無事で何よりだ。ん？どうした？
なんか、涙が出てきちゃって。
のんのんのん。涙の似合うレイディーもいるが、そうじゃないだろう。お前の笑顔は何よりも美しい。
もう、ジョニーはすぐそうやってカッコつける。
悪い悪い。お前さんの笑顔も素敵だぜ。
皆さん、ただいま。
おかえりなさい。
Well, that wasn't actually too bad. And since this is the last story for this game, I think I'll let the credits roll, not skim past. So yeah, this is the first game featuring that man, who later would be Asuka in the current arc. Very elusive character. I'm gonna be honest, Guilty Gear is a series where I kind of gravitate more towards individual character arcs and character stories, rather than the overarching narrative, which is kind of lost on me, especially when you get to like Eno, because then you get into like alternate timelines and stuff of that nature. And just, well, time travel is a better way to put it. But in general, I kind of feel like I don't understand what the heck is going on with that man or the backyard or a lot of that. That is definitely something I need to brush up on, though it's also partly because I've never actually played A Witcher, which also delves more into like the current narrative, while this is more like, again, character stories to set up something else that, again, they kind of have to veer off course to actually deal with because of licensing, and then go back to fighting games with Xrd in the 2010s, I want to say. No idea when Xrd Sign came out, but it was a fair ways off from this game. So yeah, X2 is a weird game. It is available on Steam. It usually goes on sale pretty cheap. And I can't recommend it though, because unless you're like really into the story of Guilty Gear, just play Accent Core. That's the better version. It's the most refined version, it has rollback netcode. There's like not much reason to actually play X2 unless you're like really invested in the series, which I personally am, so I actually enjoy playing through like different story modes. In general, though, again, this is like the core foundation of the one that I'm nostalgic for, so maybe that's also part of the reason why this wasn't too bad. But again, I will eat my words when we get to arcade mode. You know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get bodied if we actually do fit in an arcade mode run, which I would like to do. If we don't do it today for time reasons, like if things run long, we might tag it on to next week. Next Monday, and just do it with XR Rev 2. We don't even have to do sign because Dizzy's still fridged for that, so we don't have to worry about the first part. She does appear in the story mode, but it's not interactive, so I wouldn't just like, you know, do a movie night on the stream and just play the story mode of XR, Sign, or Rev 2. But we will do an arcade mode run, maybe dabble in some other modes too, with Dizzy and XR, because that is also a very fun game, even though that's not the one I have a lot of nostalgia for. But yeah, this is just kind of a fun little game, but again, hard to recommend when the definitive version is also on Steam and also is relatively cheap. And that takes care of Guilty Gear X2 Reloads, so we'll be swapping over to Accent Core and going through Dizzy's story in that game. Oh, speaking of which, good timing on that.